The book, at its core, is the story of my mother, of our life together when I was a child, growing up and in rural Arizona, in Tombstone. And it's also the story of her death in 2001, and my family's process of dealing with that and reckoning with that, and my process later, years later, of sort of investigating that and trying to find the truth about her death. I'd thought about writing about my mother's murder for a long time, and I had tried to do it in fiction, and then I was given some advice by Colm Tóibín, the Irish novelist, who had read one of the stories, and he asked if he advised me to write the true story behind it, as opposed to fiction. And so once I tried doing that, it felt like a natural form for the story. And once I started to do it, it felt right, and so I just continued to do so. That was the reason why I did it. Yeah, Son of a Gun, the title, I think in America used colloquially can mean a lot of things. It can mean anything from the equivalent of saying damn. You can also say it about a person, to say they're sort of like a bastard. But for me, one of the other resonances of the title was that I felt as if I didn't really have a father. And in a very literal sense, I felt that, you know, that gun that killed my mother served to form me as a person in a lot of similar ways that you might expect a father to. And so, and then as far as the origins of the title, the first time it ever came to me as an inspiration was I just happened to be listening to music on my computer on shuffle, and the Nirvana song "Son of a Gun" came on, and I just thought, oh, that would be a good title, you know. And that was the first thing that started me to think about it. Well, yeah, as to whether it's fiction or nonfiction, I think I wanted to write nonfiction, but I wanted it to read as if it were fiction. I wanted there to be a story that was very present. I felt as if I couldn't make a reader pick up the book, but if a reader did pick up the book, I could make sure they didn't put it down. And so I wanted there to be a story that drove the reader through it. Yeah, as far as other books that influenced me or that I took into account when writing the book, I think James Ellroy was a huge influence, especially his book My Dark Places, which was about, you know, a memoir about his own experience of his mother being murdered and investigating her death later on, but also the sort of American murder stories, In Cold Blood and The Executioner's Song. And I think in a lot of ways I wrote in opposition to those books, because those books are books about murder, but they're books that focus on the murderers. And I wanted to write a book that was similar to those in some ways, but that focused on the victim as opposed to the murderers.